We be live!
Serving shaitan with a smile.
Oh.
You like that one?
That
Is that
was-
good? Is that
I
good?
love that
That's
one.
good?
I love that one. That's really good.
That's what I go for. You guys have no idea. For 6 days out of the week, I wait for this moment right here. So like, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm happy.
That is so good that I wouldn't be mad if you just stick with us for the
Stick
rest
that
of
one?
the. That's how good that is. That's
This
the
is
best one. I
after-
love it. I'm good.
After many shows, folks, after trial and error, Armin has finally said he has found one that he likes. I think I may call it quits. I may just stick with that one. I have like 7 others in a notepad just off camera, just in case. But it's one of those moments where you're like, you've agreed to like do something for a friend, and then you realize it's a lot worse than what you thought. And then, like, halfway through, they're like, "Yeah, man, if you want to dip out right now," it's like, "Yeah, I'm out. Yeah." All right. This is it, folks. This is a momentous occasion. We have found it. Serving shaitan with a smile.
With a smile.
Thank you. Thank you. So, beautiful. I mean, honestly, that's worth a like. Like, that's worth a like right there. I mean, come on, folks. That's a big deal. Like,
yeah, guys, please like the stream because we need your likes to grow the channel. Yeah. Anyways, I have a very, very interesting video today. Wait, Brother Ben is saying, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Mustafa. Hi. Shiha. Hi. Rasul. Hi. Hello. Thank you on 3 bad. That's okay. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you like the stream. I have a very interesting video for you from Daniel Haqiqatjou. Right? And it's about gender mixing. You know, sometimes I watch these videos because I like to know what's happening in the Islamic community and what's the latest thing they're complaining about, right? And I'm like, oh man, people need to know about this. People need to know about how backwards some of these people are, you know. And it's just like, I wish people knew. I know, like, wait a minute, I could just bring it up with Elliot and we could review it because I just want people to know how stupid. Like, okay, let's go through this, right? So this has been a hot topic among you know, the YouTube scene, among Muslims on Twitter, on TikTok. You can see this was on TikTok. We saw a couple of weeks ago, Ali Daba was talking about it. He was like kind of excusing it, which is kind of okay. Is it bad? Yes, but it's for a greater good, something like that along those lines, right? But Daniel Haqiqatjou is like coming in. No, like, so this has been, you can tell that this has been a hot topic and among the Muslim community in the United States and, you know, in the West, you know, but when you see multiple YouTube content creators refer to it and talk about it, you know, there's been like, we'll just sing a little bit of it, but there's a lot of other things, a lot of infighting that is going around in the community, right? So I just want you to be updated of what's the latest thing, the latest drama within the Muslim community. So this is what it's about. It's men and women together in a mosque, right?
Wow.
So what you're seeing right now, basically, on the screen, this is let's see.
It looks pretty bad already. I mean, it looks pretty bad, yeah. Look at all the sex that they're doing on each other and stuff, you know, all the inappropriate behavior that's happening. It's atrocious. I'm surprised you can show it on screen right now. I'm teasing,
guys. This is pretty spicy, guys. You might not know what the issue. Like, a lot of people might not understand what the issue with this is. This is degeneracy by Islamic, you know, conservative Islamic standards. Because what you're seeing here is, you see them men, right? Hold on, can you see my mouse? No, you can't see my mouse when I hover over it, right? You can see the top right. You see some men there, right? And then at the bottom left, you see women, right? And guess what? They're in the same place,
right?
In the mosque,
right?
In a mosque, in the holy place. Do you have women and men in the same room? This is outrageous. That's basically what's happening. Okay, so we're gonna watch a little bit of a TikTok. This is like mosque exposed. This one like viral on TikTok. So we watch that TikTok, and then Daniel Haqiqatjou is gonna come and explain to us what the issue with this is.
Let's see.
So we're seeing the video like, oh my god, look at
we
the
don't have
men
we don't have
here.
sound if there's sound.
Well, no, there is no sound at the
Okay.
beginning.
Oh,
right?
it's just he's
You know
just
the
literally
reason-
just scanning the room. Okay.
Yeah. So the reason why he's showing the TikTok at first without any sound, which he's going to start talking soon, is because I'm assuming that on TikTok this video had music on it, and on YouTube that music would be hit you with a copyright strike. So yeah. So there's no audio. It's just like scanning the room. Like no. Oh yeah, actually there's a text on screen. Was it no need? While upstairs pretty much empty. Yeah, like oh yeah. So the idea is like, why do you even have them? So the person who put this on TikTok, and like, why do you even have them in the same place? You have enough room upstairs. Like, why didn't you put the woman in a different area? It's not like you ran out of space. So that's what they're complaining about. Okay, so let's go. So scanning across the room. And like, so somebody is exposing this mosque. Okay. Like, oh no! Look, woman zooming on the woman.
That looked like a guy just walked up to some women. Yeah. Oh wow!
Oh, here's another place. These are some women. Look at this.
At Mufti Menga.
So hey, web, yes.
Okay, so now it starts discussing. But guys, this is like, I don't know if we're gonna get hit with the strike or something. This seemed like 18 plus. Why are you showing this to us?
It's pretty rough. I come into these streams unaware what Armin's going to show me, and I trust him that he's not going to show me, filth like was just on our screen, folks. So I apologize for everybody out there whose eyes were assaulted.
All right, so also like he's highlighting the scholars that are here because he wants to expose them as people kind of like endorsing this, like Yasser Qadi. But let's see what Daniel has to say about all this.
Yasser Qadi, Ingrid Mattson, Muhammad Majid, Sherman Jackson, Tamara Gray, Zaid Shakir, Omar Suleiman, Jihad Turk.
Okay.
The thing about when you just appeal to people's feelings and their
look at this.
Faces are covered up.
I mean, you would have to like look those sexy faces. We all get tempted.
That's
but
amazing.
look at the.
It's so like that type of mindset is so weird. Okay, like put aside the destructive nature of it and like how toxic it is, and it's just misogynistic and like put aside all of those really good reasons. Okay, just think about that. Like you have to be you're so upset about even showing a picture where women are covered from head to toe. You can't even show their face. You can't show their face.
I mean, I would get turned on, to be honest, with those faces.
It's already, honestly, I might have to go off camera for a minute, folks. I'm sorry. It's getting hot.
No, okay, but think about this, right? Like the average Americans will see Mufti Menk and think like, okay, that's like a serious Muslim. I mean, look at the guy, right? Look at the guy. He's like, this is a conservative Muslim. But Daniel Haqiqatjou looks at the same picture and we're like, these are a bunch of libs. Like, look at the degeneracy. They're taking a picture with women that don't even have their faces covered. Yeah. So Daniel, this is degenerate by Daniel Haqiqatjou standard. And he's gaining in popularity. Like, there's a lot of people that think like him. I'm not talking about like Pakistani Muslims or Iranian Muslims or Saudi Muslims. I mean, Pakistani Muslims on average don't have any problem with seeing a woman's face.
Right.
And even Iranian conservative Muslims don't have a problem with like not covering someone's face. But in the United States, a growing popular Muslim streamer, the level of conservative for him is like, okay, we can't show these women's faces on camera. I mean, that is too much. So, yeah.
I guess I don't know. I mean, there's frustration, there's confusion, there's a lot of things. Horny is not one of the things I'm feeling, though, you know, which is odd because Daniel kind of makes it seem like I should be. But yeah, I just that was the first thing I noticed before you even started the video, the TikTok video that he showed at the beginning. Like it clearly said like California somewhere, like in the middle of freaking California. And it's like, this is just such a regular common occurrence in everyday life that I just, there's no way for somebody to enforce such a strict separation, right, of genders, unless you are essentially just advocating for keeping women as slaves. Like that. And I mean, Daniel kind of gets to that before too long, doesn't he? I mean, there's a whole like, don't go out without your chaperone and all that jazz. So yeah,
it's for protection. It's because they value. So this is their reasoning. Okay, you guys just don't value women. That's why you just let them go loose for other men to look at. Right?
Yeah.
This is them. They are like they are the women going out with their guardians, covering up, is because Islam truly values women, and that's the whole point. That's what there's. That's the comment. Yeah,
you don't value your women because you're, quote, letting them go out. Like,
exactly.
Right? It's like it's so striking how. Oh man, you didn't get it. All right.
Let's continue.
However, basically, that's what compassionate imams do. Like,
oh no! Okay, you didn't cover properly.
Oh my gosh! And the dots are kind of see-through. Like, if you're gonna do it, like be serious about it. Don't like half-ass it like this. Like, so what now? I get like kind of horny, and that, like, is that still on?
I'm actually genuinely like, look at, I can see certain eyes, and those are like, look at that, like, the eyebrows. Actually, that's pretty hard. Yeah, you know, Daniel might have a point.
With the one the girl in the right there, the girl in the back. Yeah, I think you can almost get full chin. So like,
I feel like if I was that girl at the top right, I would be insulted. I would be like, wait a minute.
Why did you cover up my face fully?
Yeah, like, you're telling me that all these girls make you horny, but me, like, okay, no one's gonna get horny by that one. So like,
I mean, that is what all of this is at the end of the day. Is just them being like, oh, that turns me on too much. Can't see that anymore. Like, that's got to be so weird for everybody else involved. Can you imagine one of the women in this picture, like, seeing this on Daniel's channel one day and just being like, that's me. Is he saying he was turned on by me from this picture? Like, that's so weird, man.
But also, like, these women get hit from both sides, right? Because these are women in America, right? And in America, like, a lot of Muslim women don't wear hijab at all, right? So for you to wear hijab in the United States, a lot of the community is like, okay, that's a conservative. And you're like, okay, people see me as too conservative. And then you watch this video, and this guy is covering your face. And like you're wearing a hijab in a country where you don't have to wear a hijab. And this guy is like, cover up, lady. Like, oh my God. Like, there's no winning here.
Cover up, lady. That honestly needs, if that's not already like a cute little cartoon from Atheist Republic, it needs to be. Like, full on Shador, even, you know, just like nothing whatsoever, and then just cover up, lady. You know, that's because that's what it is, and it's just like it's that in public, right? In the places where they know that they can't just say you're not allowed to be out of the house, right? Because that's really what it is. It's at the end of the day, it's, I don't even want to see you out in public, because you're supposed to be in your house, you know, being a slave to your husband, basically. So, I mean, whatever.
But imagine how offensive that. Okay, imagine if you're a Muslim woman, okay, and you think like, you know what, I have to be properly Muslim. I'm gonna wear the hijab. Okay, this is my religious duty. Okay, and you're wearing the hijab, and somebody tells you that you're not properly covered up. Like, I think your brain will explode. You know how the levels of insult, You know, you're wearing a full hijab and
Yeah.
somebody telling you that you're not properly covered up. I mean, I don't know. I would be very angry.
Also, just real quick, just because I love it and I've been looking at it this whole time. I love that the little poster thing behind him says the best of Mufti Mink, because that kind of reminds me of like an album. And I'm thinking of like all the greatest hits, you know, condemning all Christians to hell or something, you know, like it's just like an audio clip of him just being like,
he's like a celebrity. He's like a celebrity preacher, right? And that's why they want to take a picture with.
That's so dumb. And there are Christians that have this stuff too. I mean, Kent Hovind has his freaking Dino series, and it's just, that's such a weird thing to me. Like, where in the Bible or the Quran was it like make a greatest hits album every so often? You know, it's just fucking stupid. All right. What else?
But look at also that, you know, by the way, by Muslim standards, that looks pretty, you know, alpha, because like, you know, Mufti Menk, he's a celebrity, and all these Muslim women want to take a picture with him. Yeah. Daniel might just be jealous.
Swap out Andrew Tate there. I'm sure we'd hear some.
Oh wait, Susanna is saying, honestly, Daniel does seem to have a happy marriage. Yeah, we saw that. He's like, they're actually, as much as the bull crap that he says, okay, he seems like they're pretty cute together. Daniel and his wife are pretty cute together. You should see, like, there's a video of me and Susanna were watching, like they were talking about Islamic stuff, and it was like pretty conservative Islamic stuff. And you should see, like, when his wife was on stream, you could only see her eyes, like she was all covered up, you know, but you could see the eyes with the way she was looking at him. She was so proud. Even just with the eyes, you could just tell, like, she was like, oh yeah, so proud of it. The way he's talking about Islam. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
it was adorable. We were like, me and Susanna were like, oh, like such a cute Islamic couple. I know. Let's finish this.
They're just feeding people's egos and telling them that what you're doing is okay. The way that
okay, now you're just being lazy. Okay, now you're just being lazy. I don't understand. Wait, why are the men? Oh, this is this identity now, I think.
Okay. I don't know if he did this on purpose or not. Okay. But I do like how every picture he has shown has gotten less and less good at covering up.
Yeah.
It's like, did he do that on purpose? Or
I don't know. I don't think they're even trying anymore. Yeah.
That you're living your life just with the status quo, like an American or Western status quo.
Okay. Arm here.
It's a scribbles on her arm.
I am so glad that you just put this line on this arm here, because without this, I would just get too horny. Like, look at this. Look at the line on the arm. What does this do? Like, is this line on the arm the difference between somebody getting aroused and somebody not getting aroused? And the legs.
It's just amazing to me. Like, it's so incredible to think that like such ramifications would result, right? Whether good or bad, from like seeing a woman's knee, you know, like to just think that you know, an exposed bit of thigh by a woman, right, the smallest amount out in public could just have major consequences in either a good or bad scenario. You know, like it's so trivial. It's like whether or not your 5-year-old nephew, you know, has a bouncy ball. Like, is that really going to change much about the world? No, it isn't. It's just, it's amazing to be so freaking, yes, Susanna, you are correct. She says, you two men are so ungrateful. He's protecting you horny bastards from yourselves. You know what? That's right. Honestly, that
makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. We might need to just stop the stream. It's already been so. I don't know how Armin's still going. It's
well, I mean, I don't want to express what I'm feeling right now, but here's the thing: there's this picture is wrong from every direction. Like it's from our direction is like wrong, right? Because like what the hell is wrong with this? But also Islamically, if you're supposed to cover this, you didn't do a good job. Like you either believe that showing this to us would be a sin, or you don't.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Given that you put some lines there means that you do. Well, you didn't, Islamically, you didn't do a good job. I see the arm, I see the thighs. So based on your standards, you are sinning, Daniel. I am seeing this woman's legs and arm and the hair. I mean, isn't this an admission that the hair does not need to be covered? Because we hear that, they're all the same. Okay? The genitals and the hair, they're the same level
Equal.
of requirement of covering. So, but what you're seeing right now is the hair, no effort on covering the hair. So this contradicts your own ideology. Why am I seeing the hair, Daniel? Why haven't you even attempted to cover the hair? Aren't they all supposed to be covered? So is there different degrees of sexiness? I don't understand. So yeah, it's just full on contradiction. Yeah.
Is the Islamic view about various sins really similar to a lot of the Christians, where it's just like every sin is equal?
No,
Okay.
not the sense, but for covering everything is, is
Right. It's all right.
It's all just all need to be covered. Like there's no like, you can't just not, I cover my genitals but not my legs. Like nope, that needs to be covered. Like I cover my legs and my arm, but can I show my hair? Like no, it's all equally need to be covered.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So them, yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, like, because I was wondering, like, if there's degree of sin in the sense of, like, this sin isn't as bad as that sin, because the Christians always try to say, like, oh, no, there's, they're all equal. But I just wanted to know if this was, like, a moderate level of sin or, like,
no, there's different degrees of sin.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah. You could be like, you could go for a sin, you could get 1,000 years in hell, and for another one, you could get 1,000,000 years in hell. So.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. You think this is probably like in the 10,000 range, or how? From 1,000 years in hell to 1,000,000 years in hell. This is we've agreed that Daniel's sinning here, but how much is he sinning? Is what I want.
You know what, Danielle? I'm gonna screw you over. Okay, I'm gonna go find one of these pictures because I think I found a good one. To go lust over. I saw one before, right?
Yep.
And you showed this to me, Danielle. Okay. And all the sin that Islamically, this is how it works. Daniel, the sin of me lusting over that woman is going to be on you.
Yeah.
And the thing about Islam is that there's no way for you to bypass getting forgiveness from man and go to God. Like in Christianity, you could get forgiveness from Jesus and you're good. But in Islam, you actually have to get forgiveness for the person that you have wronged before you go to God. Yeah.
Okay.
There's two types of sins against man and sins against God.
Okay.
For the sins against God, you could ask forgiveness from God, like for example missing a prayer or not fasting, right? But for sins against man, you can't bypass the man. You have to get that person's forgiveness for you not to be tortured for it in hell. So Danny Haqiqatjou, yeah.
No, go ahead. No, finish up. I think I know.
No, so Danny Haqiqatjou, you're going to be tortured in hell because you showed me my sin is also upon your shoulders, right? And now there's no way for you not to be burning in hell unless I forgive you for this lust. Okay, so contact me for a debate, and I will like forgive you for this.
And apologize for your.
No, you don't need. I will automatically forgive you if you like debate me on Islam. Okay,
basically. For everybody out there right now, okay, either watching live with us or in the future, here is what Armin is trying to say, is that if you all leave this stream once it's finished and you lust heavily after these pictures that Daniel has so unfortunately put in our faces, we didn't want this burden but he gave it to us. So if you go and lust after these pictures after this stream is over, you will secure Daniel's place in hell. That's just how it works, guys. So, I mean,
yes.
if you really,
Daniel, you're screwed.
If you really want to do your part,
Daniel, we got you. You know, we have secured thousands of years in hell for you. Okay.
Done.
We don't believe this, by the way, guys. So
yeah. We're just completely joking. But I mean, when you look at it like that, it just makes all of this so stupid. It just makes that whole concept like dumb. Like it's just weird. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, lusting after that priest. See, Daniel.
Yeah.
See, Daniel. Our brothers are out here, and they're having a difficult time, and it is on you. It's on you, man.
They're not living in the West; they're living in Africa.
Oh my God, this is like too much. Look at them, just like on the floor.
I was gonna say
too close.
Yeah, laid down, like next to each other almost. Like they're they're basically hardcore banging right there. I mean, this is intense. Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure like every single one of the women that I can see at least is like fully covered, by the way. It's not as if there's even, like a half job on the headscarf. Like every single person in that picture. Anyway,
to be honest, like if I was, back when I was a Muslim, if I went to a mosque and I saw women and men on the floor like this together, I would be like, what the hell? Like my mind would explode. I would like, this is unimaginable for me back in my, if it was like a whole bunch of liberal kids outside of a mosque, I would be like, okay, whatever, right? But if I saw inside a mosque, bunch of like Muslims just like on the floor, women and men together, as a Muslim myself, I would be like, what the hell is happening here? This is insane.
And this,
right? So
this is why the Christians, Armin, are seeing such problems with their youth, because the youth groups for the Christians are pretty much always mixed. I mean, that's what happened to me. I went to mixed gendered youth groups as a child, as a Christian, and I turned out an atheist sinner. So, that's how it works. So the more Muslim men that are out there that are being subjected to this. Ugh.
Yeah. So that's like, I love how even Armin is like, what the F? Yeah, you know what I like is, but I can bring my mind back into the Muslim mindset and see what I could find shocking and what not shocking. I could like step out of my liberal brain and go back to my Islamic shame and see how it feels, so yeah.
Your Islamic shame. I love that.
Are they living in Asia? They're saying, adopt this Western lifestyle that's pushed by the elites because of Western influence, and there's no
like this is a problem. They're posting this picture, like, guys, like if you didn't know about like a mindset of someone like Danny Haqiqatjou, if you saw this picture, you wouldn't find anything wrong with it, right?
No, this
is like
every single picture has just been so mundane and just absolutely nothing happened. Like I at least expected, I don't know, maybe some like dance, like sexy dancing or something at least. Like, but there hasn't been anything. Like, you know how many of those Muslim men and women in these pictures that he's shown has access to TikTok? Daniel, do you know the type of content that is on TikTok, man? Like, come on. They probably saw like 3 chicks shaking their ass like 30 minutes before they went into the mosque.
But yeah, and I also, if I show this picture to like anybody, like you're like, okay, what would you think a Muslim conservative would have a problem with this, right? And I think every people were like, what are you talking about? I see Muslim conservatives in this picture. Nobody would guess.
Nobody would.
Look at. Yeah, look at the men. So women, these are women wearing hijab in a free country. So you would associate that with being conservative. And look at the men, like they have the long beards and the whole Islamic headwear and like whatever. And you're like, okay, these are These are not your average Muslims. These are conservative Muslims. But Daniel Haqiqatjou looks at this and like, this is like disgusting degeneracy. These are men and women in the same area, in the same picture.
Yeah. And it does kind of look like the men and the women are, while together, still kind of separated, right? Like it does kind of look like most of the people that you see with the beards, they really seem to be like in the back corner, right? So it's like,
they're like,
yeah,
it's not separate enough.
but I mean, honestly, you look at this picture and it's just like, this seems like a very wholesome, normal picture of like probably people getting together outside of their mosque, trying to just celebrate, hey, we've got a community of Muslims here, you know? And it just, apparently this is a big deal. Apparently this is haram. So I you know, what are you going to do?
And lifestyle that's pushed by the elite.
You know, I think this is actually not a bad thing, okay? Daniel got Muslims, okay? Muslims, women especially, who are covering up, okay? It will never be enough.
Right.
Look at this. I want Daniel, people like Daniel, to push you to our side, okay? Yeah. Okay? Be free, because no matter what you do to submit to this mindless, insane, conservative, framework that these people have, they will always want more. They will never be satisfied. Okay, just be free. Okay, don't think like giving up on your freedom will at some point make these people like, okay, that's good enough. No, right. Look at this. So Daniel, keep doing this, because all you're doing is pushing more people to the liberal side. Yeah.
It's because of Western influence, and there's no contradiction between that and
they didn't even do anything there. Yeah, it didn't even do anything with that one. So I just like
this. Wait, why are you not covering up here?
That's what I'm saying. There's like, it's like half of the people in that picture look like they're women. So just no kind of.
I'm seeing a full-on hijabless woman here.
Right.
Like Daniel, this is. Do you understand that this sin it is upon you? I am seeing haram. This is haram thing to watch. This is haram to see.
Right.
And you're showing this, Daniel, on your channel.
This is what shows dishonesty of these type of people, in my opinion. Because if truly at the end of the day, okay, this is actually very similar. You can see the similarities when people want to just ban transgender people from bathrooms or something, right? And they'll say like, oh, it's about protecting women, you know? But see, it's not actually an argument that they believe. It's not actually a core value inside of them that they give a crap about. But they know that if they yell about it, enough people will care. And that's clearly, again, because I've seen Daniel do stuff like this before. This isn't the first time I've ever seen him do something like this, where he's apparently criticizing how bad it is for all of these people to be together, right? How horrible of a thing it is for anybody to see, these things. But then he just full on shows a woman without a job and just does not care. And so it's that level of inconsistency that gives me the feeling that he doesn't mean this. He doesn't actually hold this to even be true, really. He's just shouting about it because people pay attention. And like, again, this is a similar argument with, oh no, we can't have trans women in bathroom because we got to protect women, but we don't actually care about protecting women. We're just going to hide behind that, so that we get more popular and people look at our Twitter videos. And again, it's just, I mean, if he really freaking cared, he would have covered every single one of these people, or he would have just stopped after 2 pictures. You don't need to keep showing us. We get the point. Like, women and men are together. We get it. Why would you even risk causing your fellow brothers and sisters to sin like this? Why would you even risk something like that?
I mean, based on Islamic standards, he has to go. 76,000 people have watched this, right?
Right.
So for Daniel to be able to avoid torture in hell, he needs to go find these 76,000 people. Like, that's like in them. This also shows how insane the Islamic standards are.
Yes.
For like avoiding hell.
Yes, especially in the modern times. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the fact that a
Yeah.
single tweet could just like put you in a problematic position with your magic
hell.
guy, you know, like because 100,000 people read a few words. Like that's crazy. That's just
Yeah.
nuts, you know? So much for like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
all-knowing God and stuff. Apparently he didn't know about Twitter. Like that's crazy.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
This whole issue of gender mixing is becoming a big topic this past week because
Look at this picture. Oh my
This is
God. Look
so
at this
bad.
framed edition.
You know what? They're probably talking, and it's you know, it's bad enough that they're in the same room, Armin. But I mean, look at that. She looks like she's in mid conversation.
And and the whole context of this is that they're learning about the Prophet and Islam. They're studying the Deen. They're studying the religion.
It's not enough.
And Daniel Haqiqatjou is like, disgusting. Why are you talking? Why is this man talking to a woman? So it's not enough that they're talking about learning Islam.
Nope. Can't even get away with it in that sense, Armin. It's
oh
just
my God.
It's ridiculous. It's an absurd standard. And again, like folks, we haven't even gotten to all the underpinning stuff about the misogyny and they think the, you know, different group of people less than and all they shouldn't have rights. Like we haven't even gotten to all of that stuff, which is super valid and what underpins all of this. But like just on the surface, it's just nonsense even because of all the work that you would have to go through. Like so what does he want? So what does Daniel want? He wants this. He wants this individual, this man who is trained in Islamic scholarship to just stop giving lessons to anybody that's a woman. So what? The mosque just
of course.
So the mosque just stops. It just stops teaching Islam until it finds a woman that can teach the women. Like what do you? Is that better, Daniel?
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they want. They want a female teacher for a woman. But let's see. Yeah, but let's continue.
People are realizing that some of these supposedly traditional scholars are promoting all kinds of gender mixing. So gender mixing is a big part of Western culture.
I'm not gonna.
They see.
Is it just the eyes, the nose, and the mouth? Like the cheeks and the forehead are fine. Like what if I have a real big thing for foreheads and eyebrows, huh, Daniel? like you know, I don't really like.
I mean, they're so inconsistent as well. They're so inconsistent. And this one is not even gender mixing. This is just a picture of a woman. You have a problem. Right. And like, why are they showing? Like, the problem he has with this is this Al Maghrib Institute, which is like a Islamic center, right? And like, they're showing. The problem is that, like, oh my God, the bare face of a woman is being shown, right? So, but you're so inconsistent. Daniel, you did this yourself. You just did this here. You look, faces and hair and no hijab. Like you're exposing them here for something you just said like just a few seconds ago. What's it? Okay, maybe there's the caption. The caption say Allah made you unique and you are on this earth to be the best version of yourself. Although sadly many of us live with harsh inner judge that sabotages. What's the problem with this? So I don't understand. So it's just a picture. You have a problem with a picture of a woman being shown, but you on your own channel show a picture of woman. And even worse, at least that one had a hijab. This one doesn't even have a hijab.
I know. It doesn't.
So Daniel, I don't understand.
And it's like that picture, by the way, looks to me as if it's an attempt by that Islamic Institute to like reach out
gender
to
mixing
women
is a
right to like reach out to women and say like hey, like, you know, Islam's not all that bad. And Daniel comes in and is just like, no, screw all of that. Islam is that bad. No women's faces, no gender mixing. We do not like. I don't know. He's shooting himself in the foot. But
a big part of Western culture. They see Westerners see separation of women.
It looks so lazy. This one is not. Oh my God! Never mind. Let's just go. Okay, I don't even let's say I don't even know what he's saying now because we're pausing so much. Let me see what he's saying.
So this is gender mixing is a big part of Western culture. They see Western.
It's a big part of Western. Daniel, gender mixing is not a big part of Western culture. Is a way of. It's just normality on the entirety of the planet. It's not Western. Do you think people in, I don't know, like Thailand or the Philippines or like they're not Western? Do you think the genders don't mix there? Do you think that they separate people?
This may surprise you, Armin. I know this may surprise you, okay? And all of our viewers out there, please be prepared. Throughout all of human history, there has actually been gender mixing. Pretty much exclusively, in fact. And it did not matter the ideological system of the day or the geographic location. It's just literally just kind of
it's such a normal thing that they don't have a name for it. It's just you guys. It's just living, okay? You guys call it gender mixing because you guys have the weird culture that nobody else has. Everybody else doesn't even call it anything because it's just people being together. That's what it is. It's just
imagine if Daniel was like, yeah, one big thing that's a part of Western culture are these mini comas. So I don't know why, but these Westerners just go into these mini comas every so often, like at night, like when it's dark outside. Yeah. So from like 9 p.m. at night till like 8 in the morning, they do this and nobody knows why. Sleep.
Oh, here's a closer example. Okay, you know what else is part of Western culture?
What?
Height mixing. People with all sorts of height, short people and tall people together.
Oh my gosh.
If we have gender mixing as a word, height mixing should also be a word.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, I can't believe that. It is those two actually. It's funny. You laugh, but height mixing and gender mixing are the top 2 bullet points on the Western ideology pamphlet that you get when you are born as a Westerner. I know this. I have mine. It's in the other room, so that's what we do. We all.
Oh, but by the way, you're right. Asian Americans, like I didn't know how Western China was. Mm-hmm. Okay, China has been influenced by Western culture. They have gender mixing as well.
Yeah,
I've seen women and men in the same place. Oh my god,
it's rough, honestly. Yeah,
in Western, all kinds of gender mixing.
Okay,
so this is gender mixing is a big part of Western culture.
Does he think like China has been influenced like the entirety history of China, thousands of years they didn't have gender mixing until they were influenced by the West? Is that what he thinks?
Russia too, right? Like it's just
Russia.
It's if you ever make a statement, this is just for anybody's benefit out there. If you ever make a statement where you say like the West does X or like this is important in the West, and then it's really obvious that both China and Russia do it, like your argument's wrong. It's just right there. It's that easily shown to be stupid.
By the way, did you know that in the Kaaba they gender mix? Like,
oh my gosh,
you're around the Kaaba in Islam, you're allowed to have men and women in the same place. And a lot of people, are like, okay, so you can't have them gender mix anywhere except in the holiest place on the planet. So I heard the reasoning for that is that nobody would think about lust close to the house of God.
Do they know that people have? They know that people have had sex in like religious buildings before.
No. Religious buildings, yes.
Okay,
but Kaaba, that's a different level. That's a different level. So around the Kaaba, you could have men and women be in the same place because, of course, you wouldn't think about lust, which is weird because many women have reported that they get their asses grabbed while they're going around the Kaaba. Like they get sexually harassed all the time. It's a very, very common thing.
Do they just say like the power of Allah like just makes people not horny when they're in?
Yes.
It's like
Allah,
it's like a ring of protection.
Allah,
Like as long as you're standing
yeah.
close enough, you won't get horny. That's interesting.
Yes, Allah makes your dick limp. You know, and Allah makes it like.
Oh my god! Next year from this
Every
stream,
time.
next year you're probably gonna see a bunch of like guys walking around the Kaaba, you know, just with like, hey man, you need some Viagra? You know, I know the Allah spell like got you down, man. Like.
No, but if you're ever like having an erection in public and you don't know what to do, just think of Allah. It'll just cure it right away.
That's great.
But it might backfire because if you do that every time, your mind will associate them together, and now every time you're trying to pray, you're gonna have a major erection.
That's a good point. Yeah, that would be.
See, people know this. People know this in the live chat. Brother is saying, "Aren't women sexually assaulted all the time while walking around the Kaaba?" Yeah, exactly. And Sheikha is saying, there are even so many cases of sexual abuse in Kaaba. Yeah. So this idea of the Kaaba makes you not horny is false. You know.
Yeah. Silly to begin with, but
yeah. They're even pinched at their No, a lot of people think you get. Imagine this. Okay, I have been thinking about this, right? Because when I saw those reports of how many women get like sexually assaulted, they get fingered. They get fingered in their ass, right? Around the Kaaba.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a lot. Like it's so common. But imagine women not knowing this. And a Muslim woman going to the Kaaba, this is a journey of their lifetime. This is about peak spirituality, right? You've been looking forward to this. Like if you go to the Hajj, you believe, and this is like a highlight of your spiritual life. So imagine walking around God's house, the Kaaba, and thinking like, oh, I'm finally here, and then feeling someone's finger up your ass by a Muslim, right? Imagine the amount of disappointment and disgust that you feel.
Oh my gosh.
Like right next to the house of God.
Yeah.
By other Muslims, you know? Yeah, so it's really, I don't know. I feel like that made me sad when I thought about it like that.
No, it's a seriously good point. And I think it's stuff like that we see more and more and more, right? Because like in the Christian version, what the kind of the flip to that is, you've got this pastor that's out there, you know, condemning the sins of homosexuality, you know, day in and day out, and then he goes out and, you know, here he is with a male prostitute. And like now you have a bunch of people that are disillusioned with the faith because you've set these absurd standards to begin with. You've set these ridiculous things. And then, you have terrible people that do bad stuff, you know, through it.
Yeah. Okay, we should do less commentary because we've gone through 1 minute and 30 seconds of this.
Gosh. How is it already almost 11? Okay. All right. Let's chat.
Yeah.
See, Westerners see separation of women from men as something very backwards. They're highly offended by this, and they view it as the kind of slavery of women, or you're subjugating women by not allowing them to mix with men. So this has become this has always been like a criticism from the West against Islam. But for most of Islamic history in the colonial period, the Muslims stood strong and said, well, no, this is our religion. We are not going to mix genders. We're not going to create a situation where.
Just real quick, again, like I know it's not the most important thing, but like so many of these pictures seem to be really good. Like one of those signs just said asylum is not a crime, it's a human right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And Daniel is here to just piss on everybody's parade today because he wants to remind you, that instead of standing up, potentially, by the way, standing up for Muslim brothers and sisters fleeing for their lives, potentially, instead of highlighting those good deeds, he wants to remind you how wrong it is for men and women to be standing together. Thank you, Daniel.
That's the important thing. That's the important thing. Yeah.
Zina is going to run rampant as
Zina means like I don't know, how do you translate that? Like sexual adultery.
Oh, okay.
You know, improper sexual relationships.
Yeah,
That's a
okay,
good
okay.
translation.
Okay.
we're not going to create a situation.
So like this will make Zina run rampant, like
Sluttiness.
Sluttiness, degeneracy, sexual degeneracy.
Situation where Zina
Adultery.
is going to run rampant as it is in the West. So no, we're not going to compromise on this. Now we have supposed scholars and
Again, look at another picture of this is just a woman. This is just a woman with a hijab, Danielle. This is the just no. This is actually really disgusting.
She's
according to Daniel.
Uh-huh.
Openly queer woman who wrote 3 essays for Yaqeen and lectured.
Oh,
for
no.
them. Okay, so no, this is actually this is high up there when it comes to what Daniel considers problematic.
It's very weird how he even goes to say openly queer. Like, would he be comfortable? Would he be more comfortable if she was like queer, but she just like didn't talk about it a lot? Like, what's the like? It's literally what you said earlier. Like, it's never going to be enough, you know.
Okay, so somebody in live chat is Sheikha is if you feel like you're being harassed or anything, let us know and we'll ban whoever is harassing you. Okay, let us know. Okay, thank you, Sheikha. So let us know, guys. If somebody, guys, please be nice to our regular viewers here, or else we'll kick you out. You're okay, Sheikha? Okay, fine, good.
No, we're not going to compromise on this. Now we have supposed scholars and Islamic institutions that are pushing for gender mixing, and they're doing it in subtle ways, and sometimes not so subtle ways. So an example of a not so subtle way that they do this is in the masajid. So in the US, we have something called the Fiqh Council of North America. It is headed by Yasser Qadi. And the Fiqh Council of North America put out a statement, or a fatwa rather, that all masajid must allow...
Masajid means mosques, by the way, if you don't know.
Yeah. Okay, or a fatwa rather, that all masajid must allow women to pray in the main prayer area of the masjid with the men with no barrier. This is their fatwa. I've posted to it on my Telegram channel many times. There's been an article about it, deconstructing this fatwa on muslimskeptic.com. They're saying this is like gender mixing in the masjid, because you're saying that if there's
masjid means mosques, masjid means mosque, singular.
Any barrier between the men and women, this is actually violating the fatwa. This is like haram, basically. And they published this fatwa. It was signed on to by all of the celebrity shuyukh, famous celebrity YouTube shuyukh. And that's, an explicit call for gender mixing in the masjid. And if you go...
When he keeps saying in the masjid, it's supposed to be shocking. I'm translating because this is for a Muslim audience, right? So when he's saying in the mosque, it was like gender mixing in the masjid. Like, oh my God, like how is that possible? Right. And it's like, so he's finding it so problematic. It's not just that they're doing it themselves. It's like they're telling other people that this is how it should be. Yeah.
Now, and in fairness, and I mean, I sure could be wrong on this, Armin, but like, Quranically speaking, like Daniel's probably right? Like according to the Quran, they probably shouldn't be together in the mosque, right? Okay. I mean, at least Daniel's being correct with Islam. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just wanted that pointed out because again, I agree when you say stuff like, look, when Daniel goes this hard on stuff, that just pushes people away from Islam. And I flat out freaking agree, because there are people out there who say, oh, no, Islam isn't like that. Islam isn't like that. And here Daniel is just outright, just absolutely saying, no, we are exactly like that. Like we absolutely want to do that with people. So yeah. I mean, here it is.
Oh, Mustafa is saying never heard of it like that. Masajid. Yeah, masajid. You guys don't notice masajid is the plural for masjid. Masjid means mosque. Masajid means mosques, plural. In Arabic, I think most things, if you want to plural it, you add un or in at the end, like kafirun or kafirin, right? Depending if there's 2 or 3. But there's certain words that instead of adding in at the end, you have to, like, the whole format of the word changes, like masjid, masajid. I think that's how it works. Yeah,
That's fun.
Oh, I remember a little bit of Arabic.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but this is okay.
Go to the masajid of these figures. They actually have implemented that. Like, it's not enough to have, like, because some masajid are 2 stories, and there might be a second story where the women pray and they can see the imam, like, from above, but it's hard or it's impossible to see the women. The men and women are still separate.
So this is the whole purpose. Like in the mosque, you're supposed to have the men praying and the women praying behind and separate with a wall or something, because women are supposed to be behind so the men can't see the woman.
Right.
Or you could have them at the lower level so the woman can see down, but the men can't. Like when they're praying, they're not seeing the woman, because obviously men get way more horny than women, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so it's important for the men not to see the woman. Right?
We've done some science on that, right? Like it's out there, right? Isn't it, or something like they?
Yeah. The
Is
fact that women don't get horny.
Yeah, I don't think they ever get horny. Actually, that's what I think is the. Yeah. It's just like just stops, gone, out the door. You know.
No, well, they will say like they get. I mean, it's true that men on average are more horny than women. On average.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's by any massive degree though. Like I don't think it's ever like super crazy. Like I don't think it's like men get horny like 750 times a day and women get horny like 3. Like I don't, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard like people who transition, they just notice how hornier they get.
I've heard
when they inject the
some stories like
testosterone.
that. Yeah, I've heard some stories like that too. Which again, like, totally reasonable, you know. But I
was saying no, women.
Yeah,
women are more horny.
There you
than
go.
Men. I don't. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think you should ask trans people that have experience being both. I mean, I think that's the best test.
That would be really interesting. Ask a bunch of trans women and trans men and be like, "Hey, did you like get more or less horny?" I don't know. I think we should just start a poll. We'll just start going around asking everybody out there, "Hey, man, woman, how often do you get horny? Once a week, twice a week, like once every other month?" Like, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, a horny woman. Imagine if you had more testosterone. The suffering is real.
You know what? Until this moment, Armin, I had never really fully accepted the phrase, you know, it's getting so tough for men these days. But now that you laid it out like that, I see it. I understand.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so tough. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. Let's get.
But even that is a violation of this fatwa, because the fatwa says no, those women don't have to pray in the balcony. If they choose, if they want, they should be able to come to the main musalla and pray in the main musalla with men with no barrier.
Ugh.
So this is one of the examples of
So I don't know what the problem with this picture is. So one thing that they hate about all this, like people like Daniel Haqiqatjou, is that this is like so sneaky for them. Okay, because if me and you are a bunch of degenerates, okay, if we come and say, "Hey, gender mixing is okay, guys," they were like, obviously there's a bunch of like degenerate liberals, you know, obviously they're not going to have an influence on the Muslim community, right? So the way Daniel Haqiqatjou, like the way that the liberals have realized this is the conspiracy, is to come and get you, all right, is to have like, you know, men like this, you know, like you see this picture,
right?
Like, if you see men like this in the same room with women, they're like, now Muslims are like, okay, this is normal, isn't it? Like, look at that. Like men like this are in the same room with women.
Right.
Like, look at, by the way, look at this picture also, how problematic this. You have this picture is supposed to be bad. There's one woman at the very other end of this table. This is supposed to be exposing them. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what.
But
the
you can
problem with
see
this
her
picture is.
entire face. So
Yes,
I mean,
yes. No,
yeah.
and they're in the same room. Okay, so and this is what Danielle is worried about. Like, if Muslims are exposed to this, and you're like, oh, well, you can't get more conservative. Look at that man's beard. He's in the same room with other women. Like, it can't be that bad if this is good, you know. So
Right.
that's what they think. This is all sneaky. But
Because I mean that is, we know that's what the West would do. By the way,
yes,
we know that that's the, that's the methodology, not just general education and just showing you the progress of our country. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Mustafa saying, just a thought, what if you're in a closet gay, lesbian, or bisexual Muslim and you've got attractive people around? So the thing is that it's about what you can do to avoid sin. It's not about, in Islam, you would be considered lucky because you have to suffer more now. And if you suffer more, that means you get tested more and you have more ways to get close to Allah. So if you are a Muslim and you have gay thoughts, if you're gay, being gay is technically not a sin in Islam. It's actually a blessing because you have to go through more challenges than average people. You are suffering more, and you showing God in more ways of how loyal you are to him by not having sex with men or looking at men and stuff like that.
So if that's true, wouldn't you think it would be a good idea to mix the genders in the mosques? Because then the men and the women have more temptation that they can resist and become closer to Allah.
No, because your action, your thoughts, the feelings that you have, you can't control that, okay? But you can control the actions, right? So if you mix people, that's now action. That's not just a thought. So now you're doing something that is wrong. Okay. Yeah. So the temptations are the test. You can't be like, oh, let's increase the temptation. That's Satan's work. You have the devil for that. You can't be joining the devil in increasing the temptation.
I thought I found a loophole, Armin. My bad. I just, I was like, man, that could work.
God has already put the devil in increasing the temptation. You can't be joining the devil, so that
but you'll win extra points. You'll get extra points.
No, don't worry. God will decide how much temptation he has to put in your path. You're not gonna have. You don't have to add to that.
Fine, I'll just
you
go.
Thought you have a loophole. You thought you have a loophole.
This close. Oh, Allah's too smart for me.
Yeah. Because if based on your argument, if that works, you would be having to edge people for brownie points. Like, you know what? Let's just tie up people and edge them constantly. That would
You'd stand there. You'd go home every day and stop off at the liquor store and buy this massive bottle of liquor and open it and smell it.
No,
and,
that's
get
not
it real close. Just, okay, all right.
That's not how it works. Oh my God.
The main musalla. And pray in the main musalla with men with no barrier. So this is one of the examples of an explicit push for gender mixing. But there's more subtle ways that they do it too, more subversive ways. They also...
You know what? Gaging American is saying what I'm describing is so effing hot. Okay. I just think that should be... I know that doesn't how Islam works, but I think that should an adult video that should be the storyline.
Oh my gosh.
Of a Muslim realizing that this is how we increase our good deeds for Allah, and then you just tie people up and edge them and not let them orgasm because just to improve just to increase your suffering for Allah. Guys, make that video. That should be an adult video. Make that. I think that's a perfect theme.
So here's what came to my mind when you said that. It's 2 shots, okay? 2 opening shots, super easy. Very devout Muslim man sitting there reading the Quran, gets an idea. Next shot is like him on a table getting strapped down and like a dominatrix is standing next to him. Like that's all you need, and that is golden, baby. That is freaking money in the bank. I don't know any major industries, but hit us up, guys. Give us 10%. We'll call it even.
Oh my god.
So in their advertising, they're constantly showing pictures of their gatherings, like their lessons. And it shows that the men and women are sitting facing each other. They're sitting facing each other and talking and, joking. And the sheikh is right there with teaching a dars, teaching some.
Dars means lesson. He's teaching a lesson.
And again, like that last picture, go back to that real quick. Look, there's still a freaking divider between the men and the women. Yeah. There's still a divider there.
But they can see they're facing each other. They see each other. They see each other. Come on, Secular Rarity. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Does like attraction just work differently, for other people? Like I don't just see somebody and then just instantly lose all control, It's not like I wet my freaking pants when a pretty girl walks by. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's amazing that he would be upset with that. They're on the other side of the room and the sheikh is in between them. Like,
yeah, but this level of degeneracy, this makes Daniel more angry than anything that we could do, because again, look, other Muslims growing in United States, like the ones who want to be conservative, they're like, look at this sheikh, this guy, this is an Islamic lesson. And Daniel is like really angry because this will get normal. They think like, they look at this and like, obviously this should be okay. This is an Islamic class. This is a dude with a beard. So Daniel thinks that this is normalizing something that shouldn't be normalized with an Islamic look. Right? Yeah.
The sheikh is right there with teaching a dars, teaching some book of fiqh. And then, the male students and the female students are so close to each other that if they reach out, they could touch each other. So this is
they're so close that if they reach out, they could touch each other. That's how close they are. That's how proximate they are. Their bodies are next to each other. They could actually reach out and touch.
It sounds like it's funny because he uses like certain stock phrases like that, like they could reach out and touch, each other. Like he uses those kind of like standard stock phrases as if like he was talking about something like radical, and so it's like you would imagine somebody to say that in like a scenario where it's like, all of this nuclear waste is just kind of spilling out into the street. I mean, people could just reach out and touch it. But what he's talking about at the end of the day, again, is just a woman and a man sitting next to each other. Like, it just feels so weird. It's just,
amazing.
I expect him to say something like bigger. It's like he's building it up. He's like, you'll never believe what is happening. Oh my gosh, it's destroying the fabric of society. A man saw a woman on the other side of the room. I know.
And again, look at the picture that we're seeing. This class is Islamic enough to put the men on one side of the room, right, and put the woman on the other side of the room. So this is not gender mixing. This is actually gender segregation. Right. What you're looking at is a picture of gender segregation, right, but because they are in the same room, Daniel still considers this gender mixing. Right. And you're like, look, this man at this end is so close to that woman that if he reaches out, he could actually even touch her. That's how close they are. Unbelievable.
And they don't even actually look that close. Are so close. They don't look like they're that close. But whatever, Daniel.
Yeah.
So close to each other that if they reach out, they could touch each other. So this is what they say: the message of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the messages during the time of the four rightly guided caliphs did not have a barrier separating men and women. Men prayed in the front, children in the middle, women behind the children. All the schools of Islamic law, Sunni and Shia, agree on this point. So why should we adopt any other ideal? When women are in the main musalla, they are naturally more attentive, more engaged, and thus better able to fulfill their function as awliya, supporters and contributors.
Awliya means like parents. Musalla is like the area, I think, that you do the prayers. Like they're saying that why wouldn't we want women to be able to come into the main area? Because if women are more engaged, they will learn more about Islam, and they could be better parents, better Muslim teachers to their kids and stuff like that, right? So this is the Islamic website that is giving you the excuse for why women should have access, and Daniel is like laughing at that.
To establishing the Muslim community. Some Muslims argue that the barrier is necessary to guard against fitna. However, the Prophet ﷺ never stated that a woman's presence in the mosque in and of itself is a source of fitna. The instruction to men to avoid fitna is to lower their gaze, not to put a
fitna. How do you translate fitna? Fitna is like, I don't know, temptation or divide, or so basically, let's say temptation here. Fitna. Is that the best translation for fitna? Fitna. Trouble. Yeah. Here in this context, I think it means temptation. It's like trouble, causing trouble.
Is a source of fitna. The instruction to men to avoid fitna is to lower their gaze, not to put a physical barrier that blocks women from the main musalla. The benefit and the rule of having women engaged in the masjid outweighed some hypothetical possibility of fitna.
That's interesting.
We call upon masjids to ensure that women have access to the main musalla, to perform salah, listen to the Jummah khutbah, or attend and participate in lectures or discussions. This should be in addition to any separate area that currently exists for women. So the masjid might have a separate area for women, but there needs to be additional accommodation for those women to come to the main musalla. Recognizing that the architecture of some masjids may make it difficult to find a barrier-free space for women in the main musalla, especially for Jummah, masjids still have the duty to find a solution to realize the sunnah of including women in the main musalla. They went from calling it.
I like that things are moving in this area. I see this as a win for us. Because I tell people, okay. Some Muslims keep bragging about Islam being the fastest religion, right? But fastest growing religion. But I'm telling you, like, that doesn't really matter. Everything about the religious world is getting secularized. We're getting to a point that, like, even these are conservative Muslims. These are not your average moderate or liberal Muslims, right? And they are moving in the direction like, guys, we can't just separate men and women. And I'm saying, like, you could have more Muslims at some point, but they're going to be Muslims that they're going to have more and more lives that looks like other people,
right?
So even if you could have nominal Muslims, you could have all the numbers that you want, but we're moving into a direction of a world where Muslims and Christians will live more lives that are more and more like lives of people who don't have any religion, and that's why the effect at the end is going to be same, as long as people are living lives that are secular lives and liberal lives,
right?
Whatever you think you believe in, I don't really care, right?
Right. And I think one thing, honestly, that, and this is why I said this when he got to this sentence, but I think one thing that kind of shows that is that final sentence right there in the middle paragraph. The benefit in the rule of having women engaged in the masjid outweighed some hypothetical possibility of fitna. Mm-hmm. So what that says to me is, because again, this is coming from right the top, right? This is coming, this is a fatwa is what he was saying, right? So what that says to me is that the individuals that were crafting this response have already kind of taken a step back from that harder core stance, right? And they're doing so in a way that becomes more secularized, right? They're calling it
a hypothetical possibility. They're not even saying it's a
Right.
possibility. They're saying it's hypothetical to begin with. So they're taking that extra step away and showing
Right,
that they don't hold as much belief in that particular thing anymore.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah. By the way, I need to clarify because yes, secularization is the key word here. Not I don't want to say like I'm endorsing Islamic reform, right? Because what we're saying is not reform means like changing Islam, and I don't endorse that as all. I'm endorsing secularization. This secularization means like people moving away from Islamic beliefs. It's not like changing Islamic beliefs to make Islam look more more in line with with modern values. It's getting what you're doing is you're reforming Muslims. You're not reforming Islam. You're getting Muslims to live less Islamic lives, right?
Exactly.
So that's the difference between secularization and reform.
Right.
So we endorse secularization. We don't endorse reform because that would just mean the religion will last longer. Yeah. But let's continue.
Yeah, like, oh, there's nothing from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say that women in the masjid in and of itself is a fitna, to saying that, oh, it's a sunnah of including women in the main musalla. They have to say
a sunnah is the way of the Prophet. So they're saying there's no hadith, there's no saying of the Muhammad, these people that says that women shouldn't be in the mosque, but they're saying it's a sunnah. So Daniel is laughing because like they're going even as far as saying it's actually sunnah. It's the way of the Prophet to include women in the main area of the mosque. Yeah.
Okay.
The sunnah is to include them in the main musalla and have them participate in discussions and lectures and attend the khutbah. Like, what sunnah is this? Like, where's the sunnah of women attending the Jummah khutbah or being participating in lectures? The sunnah, when we read about the Ummahat al-Mu'mineen, they had a barrier, like when they were talking as teachers.
So Daniel is pointing out that there's the inconsistency in the statement, right? So they're saying there's no hadith of Muhammad, but they're being tricky. Okay, there might not be a hadith, but there might be a sunnah, right? So Islam is not just about what Muhammad said. There's also a tradition on how Muslims did things, right? So Daniel is saying, okay, maybe there's no direct saying of Muhammad who said like, okay, separate men and women in mosque. But we know this is sunnah because we know based on what Muslims did back then that this was the tradition. So, and he's saying you guys are claiming that the sunnah was the exact opposite. Like, where are you getting? Like Daniel is like, where are you getting this from? We know that the sunnah was the actual opposite. And Daniel has a point here. He's right. They're making stuff up.
Is it not stated anywhere explicitly in the Quran about men and women not being together in the mosque, or is it just a general context of men and women shouldn't be together?
So the way you realize what is Islamic is a sunnah, and the sunnah you get that from the saying of the Prophet, but also from how Muslims did things during the time of the Prophet. It's not necessarily have to be written, an actual saying of the Muhammad. So yeah, we don't have a hadith actually Muhammad saying that women and men should be separate, but there are reports of this is how they did the thing back then, so that makes it sunnah.
Because in the Bible there is a book that is an attributed letter to Paul, although I'm pretty sure it's one of the ones that's considered a forgery, but it explicitly says like women should not be permitted to teach in the church. And so like that actually is straight in the Bible, whereas you're saying technically it doesn't explicitly say the words in the Quran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in the Quran or the Hadith. So
yeah, but again, like you said, Daniel is right about the Islamic practice for a long time. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I mean, look at the signatories, the people who signed this, endorsed by the following: ISNA's Task Force for Women-Friendly Masjid. So you have a bunch of these people, feminine, like Hind Mekki is like a major feminist, Aisha Adawiya, major feminist, Sarah Saeed, major feminist. Then you have Muzammil Siddiqui.
Real quick. I'm not saying I could have pronounced that woman's name better, but I just want to point out it seemed like Daniel did not know that person and then would just like labeled her as a major feminist. Like the way he pronounced her name almost seemed like he had never heard of this person before and then was just like, yeah, she's a feminist. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me reading into it, but
yeah. I mean, maybe he just read about her a lot.
that's possible. Yeah,
And
it just seemed like he didn't really know who her name was, you know? Like if okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me see.
Sarah Saeed, major feminist. Then you have Mozammil Siddiqui. He's a reformist, pure reformist. Munir Farid as well.
No.
I mean, these are known. Hassan Qazwini, she. But yeah, here below you can see Sohaib Webb, Yasser Qadi, Ingrid Mattson, Muhammad Majid, Sherman Jackson, Tamara Gray, Zaid Shakir, Omar Suleiman, Jihad Turk, like the guy from Bayan that you guys might know. This turban hijab wearing feminist that runs Bayan.
Oh, by the way, they hate the turban hijab. The Daniel, like the Ilan Omar hijab, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They hate it. They think that this is...
It doesn't cover enough?
I mean, they think it's not at all Islamic. So here.
It just doesn't work. Okay.
They call this the turban hijab. They're like, this is not they don't think this is a hijab.
Huh.
Okay? So Daniel Haqiqatjou, like they think this is women trying to get away with like looking more stylish without wearing the hijab. They say this is not a hijab. They call it the turban hijab.
I mean, you can see her neck. So
yeah, and the ears.
Yeah,
the ear. You can see the ear.
Ears.
That's
How often? Just real quick. How often have you been like super attracted to somebody's ears? Is it like a regular occurrence for you, Armin, or is this just like? I don't know that I've ever looked at somebody's ears and just been like, oh boy. Maybe.
So this is like, oh my god, this is Ilan Omar. This Daniel Haqiqatjou is like, this is absolutely insane. They consider this insane to think that this is even Islamic. Yeah. Like, look, you can see her.
That's what I was gonna ask. It looks like the shirt is kind of cutting low a little, and I would assume that would be
I
worse.
Think they would be pulling their hair out. Like it went from this, which is more Islamic, right, to this. Okay, to this, like they're like, what is this? This is not even Islam. And now you're going this, like, okay. Now you're just like, don't even try. Like, why are you even trying? Yeah.
I'm surprised that she even let people take a picture of her in that state. She was so exposed. It's. You're right. Something I don't remember. It's just too sexy. That's why we can't do it. You're finished. I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Bayan Institute. So I mean, the effect of this, it has a very tangible effect on the Muslim community because.
By the way, look at these people. I would just want to complain about how big of a waste of time this is. Daniel is complaining about this because there's men and women in the same room, even though they're like separated by a table and they're sitting on different sides, right? But this is people like researching Islam. You know what I mean? They're sitting here and they're studying Islam together. It's such a waste of time. Like, imagine what these people could be doing right now. Like, they could be learning about, I don't know, AI. They could be learning a skill that will bring some money into their lives. They could be learning history. But they're like, look at all the... can you imagine all the hours and resources spent on learning some useless information?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
If that could be directed, like, oh my god.
Yeah, all over the world too. And about regional fairy tales. That's the best part. That's my favorite part, is that it's very localized. And yeah. Oh well.
The effect of this, it has a very tangible effect on the Muslim community because when we were growing up and we were participating in the masjid activities and being active, the religious Muslims who are...
I don't know why he keeps showing pictures though. Like imagine like if you're having a conversation with one of your buddies and your friend comes up to you and is like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible thing. And you're like, oh, okay. and then he just like doesn't shut up about it, and he gives you like 30 examples back to back. Like at some point you're just like, I get it, like it's bad. I know it's bad. You don't have to keep like putting it in my face like this. But he does. He just keeps showing. And again, from his perspective, he's actually risking damnation. For me, this is just annoying, and it just feels like he didn't have anything better to do with his video, you know? But like, he is actually risking going to hell by showing these poorly cropped out photos of women's faces. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah. Okay.
The masjid activities and being active. The religious Muslims who are in the masjid, they were maintaining Haya, and they were...
Haya is like the, you know, covered, like, I don't know, shaming, like, I don't know, the proper way to conceal yourself. How do you guys, what's a good translation for Haya? Haya is like, have Haya, like, be modest. Proper modesty.
Yeah. Okay.
Haya means like, okay, Haya roughly corresponding to decency, modesty, shyness. Okay, yeah. So she's like, I guess that's what Haya means.
In the masjid activities.
It's a virtue in Islam to have Haya. Like if you if you see your daughter going out with like not proper hijab, like have some Haya. Like what is that? You slut, you know. So
and being active. The religious Muslims who are in the masjid, they were maintaining Haya, and they were avoiding any kind of mixing, ikhtilat. And there were liberal Muslims. So liberal Muslims.
Oh, so he's complaining is like, before, this is getting so bad because we used to live in a world where conservative Muslims maintained their Haya and they were separate. And we had those degenerate liberal Muslims who didn't care about these things, right? And of course, liberal Muslims does what liberal Muslim does, right? But Daniel is like saying, but now we're getting to a point where the so-called conservative Muslims are doing these things. So he's like, look at, like, of course, like, yeah, we're not going to complain about liberal Muslims. They're too far gone, obviously. But he's like worried that this is like spreading now to even the conservative side. So listen to this now with context.
Wearing feminists that runs Bayan
Listen to what he said.
So yeah, I mean, the effect of this, it has a very tangible effect on the Muslim community, because when we were growing up, and we were participating in the masjid activities and being active, the religious Muslims who are in the masjid, they were maintaining Haya, and they were avoiding any kind of mixing, ikhtilat. And there were liberal Muslims. So liberal Muslims were engaged in mixing. And so may Allah forgive them and guide them. May Allah forgive and guide us. But there was a distinction. Like those liberal Muslims knew that we're not going to bring that kind of mixing to the masjid. We're not going to bring that kind of mixing and force it onto the masjid. So there was this divide between the practicing Muslims and the non-practicing Muslims. Now, what's happened in the US is that the practicing Muslims, the ones that are involved in the masjid, are engaged in mixing. If you go to their houses, for example.
Yeah.
It was an interesting thought there, and I wonder if Daniel has put this together. It almost sounded like, because he seems to be okay with those degenerate liberal Muslims, as long as they didn't try to push their ideology onto the conservative Muslims. Like, it sounded like he was...
No, I don't think that's what it is. I don't think he's like, he was like, at least we had a place for conservative Muslims to be conservative.
And then, and then the liberals came and they pushed their ideas, and they took over the space, right?
Like, but there's no room for proper Islam. Like, we're losing that, like, we're losing all of it now, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Doesn't he advocate for Sharia, though? Like, law? Like, he wants, like, Islamic law for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. It just seems contradictory, because he's like bummed out about the liberal Muslims like encroaching in with their ideas, when in reality
I
he
mean,
just wants to...
I mean, his response will be like, obviously, yeah, if you guys could dominate, you could dominate, but obviously, I'm going to be rooting for my team, right? So
yeah.
he's gonna like, oh, you're biased. He's like, of course I'm biased. I want Islam to win. I don't want you liberals to win.
That's right. That's right. See, that's the thing. And that's probably the issue, Armin. I forget that most people don't say the atrocious things proudly out loud, but Daniel does.
Yeah.
He just gets up there. He's like, heck yeah, that's what I want. So, okay.
Yeah, I want to dominate over you guys. I want to like annihilate your ideology, and you guys should live under Islam by force. Of course,
like, it's so weird. It's like, it's so weird. It's just such a weird, it's like, anyway, okay.
No, but his argument was like, you guys will do that to me as well. Like, you guys like are making liberals are taking over the world by force and making people live under their liberal ways. Like, so you guys are hypocrites to think like me wanting for Islam to dominate is wrong, given that you guys are making liberalism dominate all over the world.
All right. I mean, you got me there. You got me there. I am sorry, Daniel, but you know what? I am biased for a more just and equitable world for all people. You know?
Yes. Yeah. You got us, Daniel. We want people to live equal, peaceful, free lives. You know,
I didn't want to admit that on camera.
We want prosperity for all. You got us.
Yeah. We're really, it's out there. I get it, but yes, I want women and men to be in the same room together. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Oh,
well. And we're winning, Daniel. We're winning. So
suck it. Like,
they invite you for iftar.
Okay, I don't know what this picture is. It must have been so
hold
bad.
up. It's not completely blacked out though, right? Like, this is real? This isn't just like a weird pause?
Like, wait, hold on. Let's
engage in mixing.
Hang on.
If you go to their houses, for example, they invite you for iftar. They invite you for
is it the
Eid
same picture?
Celebration.
Yeah, it's the same picture.
So what? So okay. So he starts to what?
No, it's a different picture. Hold on.
Engaged in mixing. If you go to their houses, for example,
so
they invite you.
No, it's a different picture because there was no red there.
Okay,
so it's a different picture.
I
want to know what this is, though.
Yeah, and he shows the first picture fully, and then he puts a couple of little things on it, and then he shows this.
No, this is different. No,
this one's different. Right.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if it shows what this is about.
You for iftar, they invite you for Eid celebration. They won't have any separation. It's just men and women, the husband and wife.
I don't know what I don't know what this picture is. It must have been horrible. It must.
Why would you even use that? You can't see it. Literally, nobody can see it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you put that on screen? I mean, again, like, I know this isn't the most important stuff, but like, Muslim apologists, like, do a little bit better job with your video content creation.
No, I will defend it. I will defend it. Okay, because even if you can't see what it is, they included it to just your imagination will run wild. Like, imagine how degenerate they must have been. I don't know what this picture is about, but it must have been really bad, right? So for them to have to cover the entire thing.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It would be like having a podcast where you just mute your guest and you're just like, hey, so what are your thoughts on the economic crisis hitting Austria right now? And wow, that was a really great point there, Bill. You know, I loved it. Like, it's just, you're making a video and half of your screen, your example is blurred out. It's just stupid. It's just like, it's like, Judge, I'd like to present into evidence Exhibit A, but I don't want anybody to look at it. But trust me, it's bad. God. It's bad. It's just
okay. Let's see what he's saying though. Hold on.
The ones that are involved in the masjid are engaged in mixing. If you go to their houses, for example, they invite you for iftar. They invite you for Eid celebration. They won't have any separation. It's just men and women, the husband and wives all together sitting in a circle, laughing and eating and joking. And they're the religion. They're not the liberal.
What is this, dude? Look at this. Look, okay. This is Linda Sarsour. I can see, what is the point of this line on her face? This is like, it's not hiding the identity. It's not hiding the things that we're not supposed to see. Like, this is lazy. This is such a lazy attempt at covering up.
It seems like a middle school boy who was rejected by a few of the girls in his class, and so he just takes the yearbook and just kind of like scribbles over them, and just like years later is flipping through it and he's showing his friends, and they're like, "Oh man, what's up with these marks?" And they're like, "Oh, they were sluts. You know, they were bad people, you know." It's like, dude, you know what? If this works, if this lines work, okay, I want a hijab that covers exactly like that. Oh my god.
Okay?
Yes.
Because they didn't cover the entire thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this doesn't even make sense even by Daniel's own standards, because if this line was enough to make us not attracted to this picture anymore, okay, so then, dear woman, get some, I don't know, put some tape, put a tape on your face, just like this, and then a little bit like this, and that would be enough.
You know what I'm thinking?
That would be enough.
You know what I'm thinking? Yeah. It's like a thong, but it's like on your face, you know? So it's like the tiniest little line, like right here, and then it just like goes around. Like, that's it. Like, I like this. God. Oh, we could call it something like the modern hijab or something. Oh man, we've got to come up with something great. Oh man, yeah.
Just make this one on this one on the right, okay? Mm-hmm. I just want somebody now put a tape on their face like that, and based on Daniel's standards, this is enough. Okay, so this is the hijab. We want you cover up. You don't cover up your hair, because we saw pictures with hair. Mm-hmm. Just a tape on your face like that.
Right.
You'll see.
I think it would work.
Liberal Muslims, you know, technically, they've become the liberal Muslims.
Muslim men in the last.
Oh yeah, so here's the entire point. The conservative Muslims have become liberal Muslims.
Together, sitting in a circle, laughing and eating and joking, and they're the
laughing and eating and joking next to each other. Oh wow!
Again,
he's tragedy.
He's saying this stuff as if it's like murder and like genocide and starvation of children, and it's like all he's saying is laughing and joking and eating. Like it's
together. They're like. Oh my! Can you believe that, guys? They're laughing and joking and eating together. Think of the children. Think of the society, the humanity.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what? You know what? Imagine, Armin. Imagine if they actually started to like enjoy each other's company.
I mean, this is such a simple, like, guys, we don't, if you don't believe us when we say Islam is just against happiness and joy, right? You know, just listen to themselves. Just listen. Like, oh my God, look at
Eid, celebration. They won't have any separation. It's just men and women, the husband and wives all together sitting in a circle, laughing and eating and joking. And they're the religion. They're not the liberal Muslims, you know, technically. They've become the liberal Muslims.
Muslim men in the last centuries would have never done that. I mean, where I'm from, like, men are very protective of their sisters, and there's no jokes about that, you know. But you have Muslims that
protective by controlling. They just have a different word for controlling. Mm-hmm. You telling your sister, like, this is men deciding that your sister, you can't go out like that. I'm not gonna let you, right? Your wife, your daughter, all the women in your life, right? Men controlling them and telling them what to wear, who to talk to, where to go. Instead of calling it controlling, they call it being protective. That's what they sell. That's how they sell it.
That give khutbah in the masjid, but their daughters in somewhere in university, and subhanallah is crazy. But alhamdulillah,
maybe their daughters don't even wear hijab. We don't know. We don't know how they're raising their children. But this is this is what they're presenting as a model for the Muslim community to adopt.
That's right. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? All you good Muslim men and women out there, understand this. A good Muslim does not joke. Period. No laughter. Don't crack a fucking smile. Nothing. Just serious the whole time. Any happiness, any joy, you're on the road to hell. That's what I get. That's what I get.
It's amazing.
I mean,
but you know, so here's the thing: people like Yasser Ghadi and all these other imams that Daniel Haqiqatjou doesn't like, they're understanding that they're going to lose Muslims to the liberal world if they're this strict. And Susanna is saying that this is why Yasser Ghadi says that Muslim boys and girls find partners outside of the faith because the parents are making the halal difficult. So they're trying to make being Muslim easier so people don't leave Islam, right? So I actually want Daniel to succeed. I don't want the Yasser Ghadis of the world to succeed. I want Daniels of the world to succeed because Daniel is actually the force for getting people to leave the faith and come to the liberal side. So this is why I'm against reformist Muslims. This is why I'm actually in favor of Daniel growing and becoming more influential. Yeah,
I think that's a good point, and I don't want to undercut it entirely with my joke here, but is oh my gosh, I just had it. I was just gonna make a joke about Yasser Ghadi wanting is this secular love jihad, where the secularists are marrying the Muslims to? Is that a secular love jihad?
This is why more secular people need to date, Muslim.
We need a dating app that's specifically for the atheists in the world to find good devout Muslims out there to start dating.
Yes.
What do we call this? We gotta oh man. Oh,
just suck the Islam out of them, literally and figuratively.
Like HALOVE, halov, like it's halal love. Like is that does that work? I don't know. Anyway, we'll think about this. Anybody that knows how to build a matchmaking app, let's get on this. Let's get on this. See, because this is the thing too, is it'll piss Daniel off because they're having fun. And if anybody's having joy as a Muslim, Daniel just cannot take that. That is just too much. So
yeah. All right, guys, this was fun. I enjoy these streams so much, man.
Oh, we always have a good time. Yeah, it's always
fun.
Susanna's
secular. Yeah. We need to make this sucking Islam out of Muslims, just like make them like if this is liberalism, I want more of that, right? We call it secularism.
I love this.
Love it. That's amazing.
That's right. We need all of our coffee women out there. We need all of you to go out and find you a good Muslim man. That's what we need.
Secular jihad. Secular jihad.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll get it done.
All right. Okay, guys, we're gonna do this again next week. We're gonna find more ridiculous Islamic stuff for me and Elliot here to cover. So if you like that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And if you want to signal to us that you enjoyed this and learned from it as well, make sure you hit the like button. And if you really want to support us, you could leave a comment after the stream is over. That would really help us grow the channel. Yeah. Very important. Yes. Yeah. Anyways. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll do this again next week. Till then, bye.